Sarah, how many people RSVP'd for this?
I haven't checked in the last hour, so it definitely, because I got an email for everyone that did. So quite a few, over 100.
Oh,
And just to be sure, I can't see who's coming in, but Terry, do you see numbers coming up? Do you see attendees coming in?
oh, I see 65. Yeah, right now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, hey everyone. Perfect, thank you. We're just going to give it a few minutes as people trickle in. Thank you for joining us for the Coaches and Coxswains meeting tonight. So once again, just bear with us for a couple of minutes and we'll get started. All right, we'll go ahead and get started here. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. My name is Sarah McAuliffe. I'm the Director of Events with USRowing. And as you know, you're here for the Coaches and Coxswains meeting for the 2022 USRowing Central Youth Championships. So just to go over a quick agenda before we officially get started. Today, you are going to hear from USRowing. Again, we'll go over intros of just who's joining us on this call. We'll go over view of registration in our venue schedule, review the USRowing Code of Conduct, and go over details regarding SAFESPORT. Then I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to our coach referees, and they do a referee welcome, go over regatta time, traffic patterns, rules of rowing, the water, racing, finish, and unsportsmanlike conduct. And then we'll go out and close the night reviewing safety policies, specifically evacuation plans, and where medical will live on site. Just a note before we do get started, if you do have any questions, go ahead and put it in the Q&A. We will get to those at the very end of the presentation. So put them in the Q&A rather than the chat, and we can be sure we can get to them. Awesome. So like I said, my name is Sarah McAuliffe. I'm the Director of Events. From USRowing on this call today, we have myself and we have our Chief Programs Officer, Rich Cachopo. So Rich, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you if you want to say a quick everyone.
Sure, I will keep this quick tonight. Hey everybody, I just want to introduce myself. I've been with USRowing for about 3 months now, but I haven't had the pleasure of meeting a lot of you yet. So I especially want to join this call tonight because I'm going to be making the trip out to OKC next week. Really excited to see the racing season kick off, and really hope that you'll stop by and say hi. And if you do want to meet and chat about anything, feel free to reach out. I'm also a native Memphian these days, so I'm in the central region, so I've only got about a 6-hour drive to come out and watch the racing next week. So it's really great to meet all of you. I'm really excited for the races.
Awesome, thank you. Also joining us, we have Gina Terrell from LOC, so working as the regatta director, and Gina has been such a big help. And then we have our chief referees, co-chiefs, Terry Friel Portel and Rebecca Thompson, who you'll hear from later today. So to go ahead and kick it off, just to go over a schedule of when USRowing will be on site, and you can pick up items such as your wristbands, your bow numbers, and answer any questions or last minute lineup changes with us. We'll be Thursday from 3 to 6, Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then Saturday, we'll be on site the entirety of the day, probably a little bit earlier than 7 a.m. But feel free to come by and check in with us any questions. We will be located, and Gina, looking at you, am I correct in saying the Chesapeake Boathouse, or is it the opposite one, the USRowing registration tent?
You're muted.
Gina, I think you're.
It will be outside of the finish line tower, the 4-story glass building next to the Devon building.
Thank you. Next to the Devon building. There's so many buildings there. I get them all confused. So thank you. So we'll be right outside the finish tower. If it starts raining, we'll just hop inside, but we'll be right out there. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to come ask us. In regards to practice will be available on the venue from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. The last launch will be at 5:30 p.m. So there won't be any additional launching after 5:30. All boats are expected to be in back on the docks by 6 p.m. at the absolute latest. And then just another date to note. So big thank you to the council. The Central Youth Council has put in a hard work, make sure the schedule is good to go, make sure that we have seating up to date. And so our heat sheets, they're working on the seating now and finalizing that, but our heat sheets will be posted up on here now by the end of the day on Monday. So the end of the day tomorrow. And we'll go ahead and link those heat sheets on Regatta Central on the overview page. Awesome. So now I'm going to go over the USRowing Code of Conduct. So those of you who have been at USRowing owned events for a while, this item is new to the venue experience. So what you'll see is this will be posted on our USRowing website along with on various signages, yard signs that will include exactly what you see here. The summary of the Code of Conduct is that we want to ensure that everybody that is going to be on site and participating in our regatta is respecting everyone, treating everyone with kindness, and making sure that everybody feels welcome on our venues. So I am going to read through because it is super important that we go over this. I just want to read through the top lines and the bulleted points here. But please review this over and over again, share this with your teams as it is so important. And again, you'll see this in various forms of signage throughout the venue. So again, USRowing Code of Conduct. At USRowing, our mission is to champion participation in the passionate pursuit of excellence in rowing. To support this mission, we need to ensure rowing at all levels is fair, inclusive, competitive, and safe for all participants. Whether an athlete, coach, parent, vendor, staff, volunteer, or spectator at a USRowing, you are a member of the USRowing community. We invite you to enjoy this experience and expect you to abide by the following Code of Conduct. Again, we're going over safety and well-being. So it's the top priority of USRowing to safeguard the physical and emotional well-being of all of community members. We're going over professionalism and integrity. USRowing respects respectful and honest communication and behavior. And finally, the boathouse is open to everyone. As members of the USRowing community, it is critical that we model positive behavior and advance the inclusive and competitive culture we envision. Finally, as you'll see at the bottom, we state non-compliance is not an option. If a community member chooses to not follow the USRowing Code of Conduct, there will be consequences. These include disqualification, dismissal from the event, exclusion from future events, legal action, and revocation of USRowing membership. Please notify a USRowing official in the event of witnessing illegal, discriminatory, or inappropriate activity. So thank you for paying close attention to those details and also paying close attention into who we are welcoming on site. And we look forward to, again, having you all in a safe and fair manner. Awesome. So going into SAFESPORT. So I know we've talked a lot about this. You all have seen quite a few emails coming up. Any athlete that is 18 years of age or older needs to complete USRowing SAFESPORT training. Also, anybody who is a coach or a support staff needs to complete SAFESPORT training with USRowing. So this is a quick summary of who needs to complete the training and what type of training they do need to complete. So again, you'll see this box here. If you are 18 years of age or older, you are an athlete, you are going to select the 30-minute athlete training for adult athletes. All of this info, and before I go into more detail, is on our website, and it gives you a clear description of what you see on the USRowing membership page, how you get to the SAFESPORT training, and which one to select. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me and I can send you all those resources, but they are, just go to usrowing.com, and on the SAFESPORT tab, it has all of that. So again, moving to this tab right here. So anybody with authority or direct contact, so looking at coaches, looking at support staff that will be on site and with your athletes for long extended periods of time, those people do need 90 minutes of the SAFESPORT NGB1 core training. And then if you've done that once, for the next 3 courses, they are 30 minutes refresher course. So you'll be able to log into your account, see where you are, what the next course is coming up for you, and you need to be sure that you complete that. Then the last one right here. So we are talking about no direct contact. This is for people who are volunteers, for example. So all of our volunteers will be MAP aware, and this is a policy review statement. So while there's no specific training that is required, all our volunteers will be able to see a document along with signage venue that makes them MAP aware. It's them aware of what to do if something suspicious does come up. So again, really quick summary right there. One question that I do keep on getting is I have parents who are helping with the tents, with the food tents. Those parents do not need to complete SAFESPORT training. Again, if you want them to, we encourage everyone to do so, but those people will not need to be on your official roster list. It'll just be coaches and other support staff that are with your athletes for the long extended period of time. How do I comply in registering and auditing your attendees? So right here is how I'm going to go over quickly on how you will upload your coaches and support staff to Regatta Central, and how we'll be able to check to make sure that they are compliant. So when logging into the Regatta Central page, you're going to see on the left-hand column, it's not this screenshot right here. This is another detail, but on the left-hand column, it will say registration. And then 3 or 4 bullets down, it's going to say SAFESPORT. You'll go ahead and click on that, and you will pull up this registration form right here. So once you do that, you go ahead and add your coaching staff, and again, any other support staff that do need to be on site. And this registers within our system, and we're able to check to make sure that those coaches and support staff are SAFESPORT compliant. So it is super important that if you have any coaches, if you have any support staff that are going to be around your athletes, do need access to the restricted areas. And when I say restricted areas, specifically for this event, we're talking like right at your trailer, and we're also talking right at the docks. Anybody that does need access to the dock to bring a boat down, to bring oars down, anything like that, they will need to have the wristband. And if they do not, they will not be allowed onto the docks. So that is specifically the restricted areas for this event here. So to go back to this form, you'll go ahead, you'll fill everybody out. It'll be inputted into our system, and we'll be able to tell who still has, or who has SAFESPORT training and who does not. When you do get on site to the venue, you will then to the USRowing registration desk, and we will be able to give you wristbands for your athletes and then for your coaches and support staff that are on this form. If they are not on this form, we can knock bands. So it's super important. If anybody does need, again, access, please fill it out on this form here. And then one note, we are closer than 9 days away, but you will continue to receive compliance emails from Regatta Central. They are automated, but those will continue to be sent out to you with questions of athletes that are showing up as non-compliant from our end, athletes and coaches who are showing up as non-compliant. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead. Or I am going to wait until the end for everything. So we'll hold there. And Rebecca, I'm going to hand it off to you so you can do your chief referee duties.
Awesome. Thank you. As Sarah mentioned earlier, Terry Friel Portell and I are co-deputies, co-chiefs this year. So if you see us around the venue, we kind of look alike. We both have dark hair. We both have freckles. And we'll both be wearing light blue and khaki. So if you see us and you have any questions, please feel free to stop us and talk to us or ask us anything you like. Again, welcome to the Coaches and Coxswains meeting. We will have 17 referees at the venue covering the various aspects and the various course positions. All of the referees are from the Midwest and Southwest regions. So you should have seen them before somewhere on a race course, either last year or this year. And I do want to remind you that the referees are here for everyone's safety and fairness, and to ensure the safety and fairness of each of the races. And I think we're going to go over the maps, and Gina is going to go over those.
On the traffic patterns, for the practice schedule, we will be using the practice schedule for our time trial course. You will be leaving the dock on the left end of the dock. You're going to put your boats in so that your bow is towards the east, towards the race course. You're going to row off and you're going to go up in lanes 6 and 7, I believe, on the south or on the north shore. You'll go all the way up. Once you approach the starting platform, you're going to want to go in the center of that starting platform, in the break between the dock and the shore. Go try to aim right to the center, one boat at a time. You're then going to proceed around the starting platform and then come back in the center of the gap between the dock and the south shore. And then you can proceed into lanes 1, 2, and 3 and continue to do your practice sessions down 1, 2, and 3. Once you come down the course and you've completed your practice session, you will go around the buoy out towards the train bridge, around the buoy, and then come back in on the right side of the dock to come back in and to recover. That's the traffic pattern. If we want to proceed to the time trial, okay, and in the time trial, same thing, except when you come around, as you go up towards the starting platform, you're going to get into bow number order and then proceed around the starting bridge. There'll be a marshal up there that will tell you to help you get into bow number order and guide you through. There will also be a referee on the dock that will be helping enter you into the start chutes. You are going to come in one at a time. We're going to be using lanes 2 and 3 for our racing pattern. I know the map is, the arrows are in the wrong spots, but my bad, my mistake. But you'll go in, you'll race down alternating lanes 2 and 3. You will yield to the outer lanes. So 2 will yield to 1, 3 will yield to 4 for any faster crews. You'll come down the course and then same thing as the traffic, as the practice day, you'll come down through the Lincoln Bridge, go around the orange buoy, and then circle around out towards the train bridge, and then come back in towards the west end of the launch recovery dock to recover and go up. Please stay out of lanes 0. Throughout this course, lane 0 and lane 8 are dead lanes. Please stay out of those lanes because that is where all our lateral lines are. And so we don't want to have everything should be sunk low, but just for safety reasons, please stay out of lane 0 and 8. Okay, those are the lanes that are closest to the shore. Okay, so on your sprint pattern, it'll be the opposite. So now you're going to come down and you're going to proceed to the right end of the dock with your bow facing the train bridge or to the west. Then you will shove off. You'll go around the orange buoy again and proceed up lane 1 as your warm-up lane. You will come down to lane 1. You will proceed between the shore and the starting platform. And once you're behind the starting platform, you will once again get into bow number order, starting with lane 1 through 6. And then you will proceed, a marshal will be up there to help you, guide you around the platform on the north shore between the gap. You'll file in starting with lane 1, and lane 1 will go to lane 1, etc., all the way into your chutes. Okay. Then once you are finished with your race, at the finish, you will turn your boats towards the north shore and you'll go into the first wide opening and proceed to the dock for recovery. And that will be on the east end of that dock. Okay. And then people on the dock will help guide you in. Any questions on that? Okay.
And I think, as Sarah said, we're catching all of the questions at the end of the presentation. So I'll go ahead and go through the rules of rowing. It's your responsibility. I can't talk tonight. It's your responsibility to know and understand the rules of rowing. If you have any questions about them, you can always ask us. We'll be more than happy to chat with you about it. So far as equipment, you have all certified that your equipment meets the rules. Heel ties are at no more than 3 inches and your bow ball is firmly affixed. We will be doing visual checks at the docks, and on Friday, as teams arrive, we will also be going through and checking boats randomly to ensure that everybody's in line with that. Please, as you're coming through Control Commission, please let the referee know what your race is, so that when you're launching, we can record it on the iPad so everybody knows that you're out on the race course and that you're headed to the start. We know what time you launched. So please make sure you know what race you're in. That's really helpful. And bow numbers, please have your bow number when you come through Control Commission, especially on Saturday. Broken equipment, if you have broken equipment on the way up to the start, alert the nearest referee. And if possible, we'll work with you to try to get it fixed so you'll be able to race, to join in the race. So on the water, we request that you give other crews the same consideration that you would ask of them in any time that you're out of the water, anything that you're doing. So in general, if the referee gives you an instruction, we ask that you please acknowledge with a hand so that we know that you heard us. If we say something to you and you keep looking straight ahead and going on your way, we'll keep bothering you because that's just what we do. So raise your hand up and let us know that you heard us, and then follow the instructions. If you are close to the course, if a start is in progress, please stop and wait for the race to pass you, so you don't throw off any type of wake or any type of distraction to the crews that are going down the course. Please do not stop on the start line or in a position where you'll drift into the way of the aligner, so they can get a good alignment on those crews that are at the dock. When you're at the finish, don't sit at the finish line as the race is finishing, because we do have cameras on the finish line. And if you're sitting there and they're coming along, it kind of confuses everybody. So please be very cognizant of what you're doing. And don't do power strokes and sequences along the race course as a race is approaching you. Again, that could throw up some wake, and it is very distracting to the crews that are racing. In the warm-up, follow the traffic pattern. Know what it is each day. Gina did a great job of going over it. Again, if you have any questions about that when you get to the venue, you can stop any of us and ask us. Time trial starts. So please be in the start area listening for your race to be called up, or for you to be called up 5 minutes before your event time. There'll be a series of referees helping you to get into bow number order behind the start dock. Pay attention to each of those referees along the way. There'll actually be referees all the way along the course trying to help you get into bow number order before you get up there. So pay attention to them. You'll have 100 meters to get up to speed, excuse me, from the start line. And of course, the breakage stone is 100 meters or approximately 20 seconds. Referees along the course will be on the side to assist should there be any issues. If you should hit anything, or hopefully not turn over, but if that happens, we'll be there to assist you. And if you have an objection at the end of the race, speak with the finish marshal, and that's for the time trial. For the sprint starts, once you're directed by the starter, that's the person, the referee that's standing on the start dock. Once you're directed by the starter, you can enter into your lane after the prior race has already left the dock. They will let you know if you can warm up in your lane. Normally they'll let you do that. If you have to turn in your lane to attach to the stake boat, do it close to the stake boat. The starter will count down to 2 minutes. So we'll give you a call every minute to let you know how close we're getting. You should be locked on 2 minutes prior to your race. The failure to be locked on will result in a warning. And once you are locked on at 2 minutes and you're given that 2-minute notice, the race could start any time within that 2-minute period. Once you're all aligned and we get notice, the starter gets notice from the aligner that you're in alignment. Hands will not be recognized during the start, so you need to make sure you're getting your point and you're comfortable with where your crew is. If you're not familiar with the start, I think everybody should be, but if you're not, I'll go through it. So the crews will be pulled in a steady cadence. Then the referee will say, attention. They'll raise a red flag. They'll wait a little bit, and then they'll say go. And as they say go, they'll drop the flag, the red flag, to the side. If the starter is interrupted, let's say that you get out of alignment, you'll hear them say, as you were, and they'll take the red flag down in front of their face and hold it down low. If you aren't ready to row when we say go, then don't row. It's as simple as that. If you leave the start, you accept the start and you can't protest it later in the race. Remember that the breakage zone is 100 meters for 20 seconds. And if we have issues with the weather, say the wind kicks up, which is entirely possible in Oklahoma, everybody that's rowed there has seen it happen, we'll go to a quick start. With a quick start, they don't pull the crew. So we wouldn't say your names as we go along. We wouldn't say like ARC lane 1, Rocky Mountain lane 2. We wouldn't do that. We would just say quick start, attention, raise the flag, and go. But we'll always let you know that it's a quick start. And one thing that's very, very important that you need to know, especially in Oklahoma, is that you need to be able to know how to scull to keep your point. If you're rowing, you're pulling yourself off away from the stake boat because you're going forward. If you're sculling, you're moving your boat side to side to keep your point. So if your coach hasn't taught you that yet, you have a couple more practices, make him show it to you. So on the racing, on the sprints, as you leave the start dock, the chase official will move behind the boat. And if you see a white flag, they're trying to direct you to do something. If you have two boats that are coming together too close to the center line, they'll raise the white flag up and say, stay apart. That means they want you to get away from each other. If one crew is coming too close to another crew's line, they'll raise the flag up, state your crew's name, and tell you which direction they want you to move. So we're just trying to keep you apart and trying to keep you in your lane. Remember that your lane is safe. It's safe water, right? So the person that's normally going to see the white flag in a cox boat is the stroke seat. So stroke seat, you need to be able to tell your coxswain what's going on and what the official is asking you to do. In blind boats, it's going to be the stroke seat. So stroke, you're going to be responsible for responding to that and having your crew respond to that. At the finish, you have two things. You'll hear a horn, and that's how you know that the race is over for you. You may see a flag drop from the finish line tower. That's how the referee knows that the first boat is past the finish line, and it is raised or lowered for each subsequent boat that passes the finish line. So that allows us to keep time and to know what's going on. If you have an objection for something that happened during the body of the race, which is after the breakage zone to the end, raise your hand. If you raise your hand, an official will come over and talk to you about it. Of course, if it's a question of fairness. So we'll come over, the official will talk to you, and what they're going to want to know is what happened to you, where it happened to you, what impact it had on you, and what you want to happen, what outcome you want. After your conversation, the referee will tell you what they saw and what they noticed, and they may be able to resolve your questions, and your objection may be resolved on the water. If it's not, and you still intend to protest, we have a form that you can pick up at the dock, and the objection is due with one hour, along with the form, and $50. So objections can be submitted to the referee at the docks. Since, well, I keep saying you should be able to find Terry or I, but I don't know, depending on what the weather's like, we may be hiding. No, I'm just joking. So that brings us to the last thing that I don't like to talk about is unsportsmanlike conduct, because I never like to see this. There's a lot of things that constitute unsportsmanlike conduct, but what we normally hear is profanity. So in general, it's not considered sportsmanlike, even if you were not directing profanity at another crew, even if you're directing it at your own crew to inspire them in some way. Find a different way. There's other ways than calling them names or dropping F-bombs or doing things like that. Because trust me, we have enough volunteers, most of them are parents, somebody's going to hear it. And I don't want anybody to be penalized for something like that. So that's all I have, I think.
Great, thank you, Rebecca.
You're
We'll go ahead
Sarah?
into, oh, go
Can
ahead.
we make it? Yes. Just a note, we will not be recognizing hot seating. So if you're hot seating boats, please make sure that you have looked at your schedule and planned accordingly.
Thank you. Great note. Gina, I'm going to pass it back over to you to go over the evacuation plan as well.
Okay. So in a case of evacuation, we determine that you need to be off the water. We will be taking a look at it 20 miles out, and we will be watching closely. At 15 miles, we will proceed to start having crews head back towards the dock if there's lightning in the area, depending on the direction the storm is moving, so that we can have everybody off the water in plenty of time to get into a safe place. Your crews will be directed to come back to the Chesapeake dock. If it is full, you will then be directed by the referees to go to either the Finish Line Tower dock or the Devon docks. Okay, to the nearest docks, and you will pull over and get out at those places. Once the weather is passed and we can resume back on the course, you will need to take your boats out and go back through Control Commission and be rechecked in, so we can keep track of who's where. And then you'll go ahead and relaunch, and then we'll start again. If by chance that we pull you off the water for a tornado situation or tornado warning, you'll then again be directed to those docks. And we have in here, there is areas where you need to go. If you're in the Chesapeake area, you will go into, there's the coach's office, laundry area, internal offices that you will go to. Finish Line Tower is the lower basement. It's the lower floor. All of our staff members will be around to help you direct you to the correct buildings, the closest buildings you are. Inside Devon, it is the lower floor bathrooms and weight room and hallway. And then moving down to the Sandridge Youth Pavilion, it would be the inside bathrooms there. And then the UCO would be inside the internal bathrooms and locker rooms and green room on the lower floor. Whitewater Center, again, the bathrooms and internal hallways will be your safe zone. Again, staffs will be in the district to help coordinate place. Right now, it looks like weather is going to be good, so we should not have to have that, but just in case. Medical will be located at the Finish Line Tower. I mean, at the first floor of Finish Line Tower. There will be signs that designate where it's at. And also there will be medical at the Chesapeake Boathouse, at the fitness center, which is the front desk area. You'll recognize them. They have red t-shirts on, carrying a medical bag. So
I might add that if you've never been, pardon me, if you've never been to Oklahoma City before, Saturdays at noon, you will hear a tornado siren. But if it's not tornado weather and it doesn't look like tornado weather, don't be alarmed by that. That's just a test of the safety system. And they're really good here. Before a tornado hits, you're going to know it way in advance.
Great. thank you. I also just want to know all of those instructions that Gina mentioned in regards to what room, what building to go into. It's all in the confirmation packet. So if you didn't catch that, clear descriptions are in those packets. Great. So to close before we go into questions, contact information. So the USRowing representative that will be on site will be Paul Wilkins. He's our events associate. So he will be dealing with lineup changes, any, regatta related questions that you do have, here now questions that you do have. And then of course, here's Gina's information in regards to any parking venue specific type questions that do come up. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen right now. We do have some questions in here, so I'll go ahead and read them off. And Gina, it looks like a couple are for you, so hang tight there. Okay, first one is going over, again, some SAFESPORT questions, like what are the restricted areas of the venue? So I did mention this prior to, but just to reemphasize, at this venue specifically, the restricted area that we will stop people if they do not have wristbands are the docks. So again, if you are a coach, a support staff that will be helping boats come down, bring oars down, you do need a wristband. Athletes will need wristbands. You will not be allowed on the dock if you do not have those wristbands. Again, any other support staff or coach that is going to be with your athletes for an extended period of time, they do need the full SAFESPORT training, and we do want you to include them on that SAFESPORT roster and to make sure that they are fully compliant on that end. There was a in regards to time trial and the lanes again. So yes, for time trials, the lane 2 was stated on the map. That is incorrect. So we apologize on that item right there. So it is lanes 2 and 3 that you will be going down for time trials. So we'll get that map fixed really quick, but the description is accurate. So please go by the description today. Lots of SAFESPORT questions. Awesome. One regarding who the seating. I haven't seen anything about seating. The council has worked really hard on seating. So while it's not finalized yet, I know they're working through that. So, and thank you so much to the Central Youth Council. They have put in a tremendous amount of effort into this. Okay. Hold on, bear with me for a second. Will there be slides at the meeting? Will these slides be available after the meeting? Yes. So tomorrow, the slides and the recording of this webinar will be sent out. Again, coaches and athletes are 100% responsible for all the information that we did go over in this meeting. So please send it out to all of your blind boats, all Coxswains, to make sure that they are 100% aware of what will happen starting on practice day. Everything will be posted to both the USRowing and Regatta Central. It looks like we have a question for you, Rebecca. Why are hands not being recognized in a standard polling start? I understand quick starts or countdown starts. Is this a change of rules of rowing? Sounds like there might be some confusion there.
Now, hands haven't been recognized for quite a while now. If you look at 2305, which C, it says that once the announcement of the names of the crews begins, the starter shall disregard any crew signaling that it is not ready under this procedure, regardless of when such signal is given, which is in the rules of rowing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Will sprints be in lanes 2 through 7 since we are rowing up in lanes 1? That is correct. And Gina, just to emphasize again, lane 0 and lane 8 should not be used at all, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. All right. For support staff and SAFESPORT, they have to have a USRowing membership with our club code in order to show up on the list of possible staff names, correct? I was having trouble entering all of our chaperones. That is correct. So they do need a USRowing membership. However, if somebody does not have a current USRowing membership and is not a athlete or a coach that has needed it for whatever reason, there is a free volunteer membership that will also give those people access to SAFESPORT training. So both of those are accessible on that front. Rich, is there anything I missed on that end?
No, that's absolutely right. The only thing that I would add to that is please complete the SAFESPORT training through the USRowing membership portal, not going to the SAFESPORT website. We've done a lot of work and have more work to do to use technology so that we can get that done through our membership portal. If you create it through the SAFESPORT website, there's the chance that we may not be able to identify you. So it's very important to do the training once you've created your membership and do that through our portal.
Great, thank you. And this question has to do with Coxswain age requirements. Thank you for asking this. So regarding age classified events, U17, 16, and 15 that also require a Coxswain, does the Coxswain need to be within the age requirement? Yes. So the Coxswain in a U16 or U17, U16, or U15 event does need to meet that age requirement as well. So that question has come up a lot, but yes, every single person in that boat does need to meet the age requirement stated. Great. One more question here for now. So who did the seeding and when do clubs get to it? Again, the youth council is working really hard on that. Not complete quite yet, but they are working hard on that front. So coaches will be able to see that very soon, and we'll be posting heat sheets on Monday evening. So if you have any questions, feel free to send it my way, and I'm happy to forward it on to the council. How can we tell if our coaches and staff are compliant? Great question. That's a good question right there. So this time they'll have to log in to the membership, to their specific membership account, and it will tell you individually there. What Regatta Central is working on is the ability so that it looks like the compliance report for athletes. So right now, if you go into the compliance report for athletes, it says yes membership, yes waiver, like SAFESPORT needs to still be filled out. So that is not in place for coaches and staff quite yet, but you'll have to go in again to your individual account to double check. And USRowing at any point in time, we can check your coaches and your staff. So if you have any questions, feel free to send over. I don't know if this person is compliant, send over your full list and we'll be able to check that for you. We will also be sending out a compliance list prior to of who is missing. So it's our intention to have as much pre-work done ahead of time so we can make sure that our wristbands are printed in a timely manner too. So we'll be checking, you will be hearing from us. Great. How early should boats launch before race times? That's a great question. Gina, we've talked about this. I'll be you. I know our time was about 25 to 30 minutes was preferred because it is just that 2,000 meter stretch. But Gina, if you have any more description you want to give behind it.
Yeah, if you launch any, if you launch off the dock any longer than that, we're going to bottleneck up at the start. And then we'll have too many boats up there and everybody will, it'll be more difficult to get everybody in line. So 25 to 30 minutes is a good number to get you guys to be able to do a little warm up on the way up and then have you guys in order and get you into the start.
Great, thank you. And Gina, I'm going to put this over to you as well. Under warm-up question, traffic pattern question, is there additional warm-up room to the right of the dock on Sunday?
We agreed that everybody can go to the west on sprint day. They may go to the west on, that'd be Sunday. They can go out to the west and warm up past the train bridge. It is your responsibility to make it back to the start on time. We will not hold the race for you if you are not watching your time. On the time trial day, because of the traffic pattern, we cannot safely allow you to row off the dock and go west. So you will not be able to go west on the time trial day.
Great, thank you. This has a question for events that have 2 boats from a single club. Will only the A and B boats be designated by that club ahead of time be eligible for the sprint on Sunday? I'm not sure I fully understand this question. I think so. Will only the A and B boats designated by that club ahead of time be eligible for the sprint on Sunday? So if the question is 2 boats are allowed per club, if that's what you're asking, if you're asking specifically if they're A and B designated, who is designated that? So I'm sorry, I'm not fully understanding that question. If you want to send follow-up context in the chat. All right. It looks like that's all our questions from for now. To that person who I'm sorry that I wasn't able to answer your question. If you want to send me an email. Oh, okay, I think they were referring to if there is a 3rd boat, can it make it to final 2? So only in youth national qual events, there's only 2 boats allowed per team. So that would not be the case coming up. So only 2 boats would be allowed to. Great. Questions? Again, free to email me, sarah.mcauliffe@usrowing.org. USRowing will be on site Wednesday evening, so get the course on Thursday morning. So if your trailer is there, feel free to come find us, and we're excited to see you all. Rebecca or Gina, do you have anything else that you want to leave with?
I look forward to seeing everybody.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for